Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of car reviews from Supercar Driver Training. I'm Brad, the lead instructor, and today we have the new Aston Martin Vantage. So the new Aston Martin has a V8 twin turbo producing 656 brake horsepower and 590 foot-pounds of torque. Aston Martin say the car will do 0 to 62 in 3.5 seconds. I have tried to launch it a couple of times today, and that's about right, which honestly, for a car of this spec and size, is not that impressive. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive only, and weighs around 1,600 kilos. The new Vantage has some new tyres specifically made by Michelin. These are the Michelin Pilot Sport 5S. They do have some special noise cancelling technology built in, and they are massive. 2 7.5s on the front and 3 2.5s on the rear, which are huge. They're actually the same size as what you get on a GT3 car from Porsche. This particular car has come with the steel brakes, and as you can see from a little bit of driving today, the wheels are filthy. This is one of the reasons why I really don't like steel brakes personally. So the new Vantage has got a new grille. We have got the new lights that come with this car, which are much bigger than on the old car, because the old car's lights seem to be a bit squinty. If you remember, they were quite small in size. So the front of the car is a whole lot more attractive. In Astons, I really like the blacks and the greys they do, because they have a lot of sparkle effect in them, and then with a bit of carbon maybe at the bottom would be quite nice. But you know, this is how this car has been spec'd, and this is what Aston Martin have given us to work with today. So on the new car is absolutely jam-packed full of technology as well, and down there you'll see the big old sensor which gives you the adaptive cruise control, which is quite nice compared to the old style ones, which are those little kind of round ball things. So that's quite nice and actually fits quite well with the front of the car. It doesn't really stand out too much. Down to the side of the car, we've now got the Aston Martin badge again down the side here on the slit, which is quite nice. Now on my previous car I had these in carbon, which was quite nice. That's not too bad, and these are all real, by the way. None of this is fake, this is all real. This all actually helps with the airflow down the side of the car. We have these massive 325 30ZR21s on these wheels, which I don't like, as I say, on this particular car. For me, I prefer it to be more subtle, maybe black wheels with carbon and a darker color, but this obviously is how someone spec'd the car, and this is what they like, so that's fine. But we don't have any rear wheel steering, unfortunately, so the car doesn't really turn very sharp. And like I say, they are massive rear tires, so bit of road noise. Back here in the boot, sorry about all the mess, we do have this new strut brace, which apparently makes it over 200% more rigid, apparently. But everything else around the back remains the same. We don't have a button still like the last car, which is a right pain, because you have to either do it on the key fob, which, by the way, the key fob's quite attractive. It's not a bad key as far as they go, because in the past we've had those glass keys that if you drop them they smash and you can't use them. It's been a bit of a pain, but these new keys they're pretty good. But as I was saying, you have to open it either from the side door of the car or the key fob, which is a bit of a pain. But it's okay. And then we've got some much bigger tailpipes at the back. On this particular car, you've got this bright chrome effect, which I don't like, but again, that's all personal choice. Someone's going to like it. So inside the car, it's a very similar place to the previous car. Over there, you've got the switches for the seat, which are exactly the same as the previous model. You haven't got any side bolster adjustment, unfortunately. You haven't got massage seats. It's not a luxury vehicle. What you have got now, though, is this lovely new infotainment system, which is so much better than the previous one. You now get CarPlay, whereas on the previous one you had to get it retro installed. You've also got wireless CarPlay. You've also got all of your settings and modes and everything in here, and you can set the car up to your individual settings if you want to. For example, the exhaust, the traction, the start, stop, and the suspension. Other than that, inside we've got all the usual bits and bobs. We've got some USB-C ports. And under here at the front, we've got the wireless charging pad, which is not great, again, like all of these modern cars, because you stick any phone on there and it overheats within 5 minutes. So it's kind of pointless. Round over here, we've got the glove box, which is teeny weeny weeny, about the right size for a pair of gloves, and that's about it. And other than that, the inside's a pretty nice place. I like the Alcantara in this car. It's really comfortable. I'm a little bit tall at the moment. There we go. That's a bit better. So when I'm actually sitting in the car, it's a lot better for me than a lot of the other cars in this same category, because I am over 6'1" and I don't touch the ceiling in this, and I don't feel like a giant either, because you can put the seats really low down. So from the driver's side, we have got the new steering wheel, which is a bit thicker than the last one, which lots of other people have been complaining about, but I actually find it's not that bad, but maybe I've got bigger hands than them. The instrument cluster is all brand new as well, which is nice, but again, you can't really customize it like you can in the Ferrari and other cars in the same class and range. You can't change the colors, you can't move the dials around, you can change the style, but you can't move things around individually, which is a little difficult. Also up here, we've got these little buttons, which are super difficult to use, and they're not haptic. So you get no feedback, so you don't really know what you're doing. So it can be quite difficult actually to use some of these buttons, especially for me at least. When you're changing the driver's mode here, it's actually where the engine start-stop button is. And I was a little bit hesitant in the beginning to actually try and turn it, because I thought it was so stiff that maybe I was going to break the thing. But actually, no, it does turn. You just have to really turn it quite hard. And then you can change it from Sport to Sport Plus to Track and even to Wet, which is good because obviously we live in England and it rains a lot. What's the car like to drive? It's a tough one, because they've definitely made it a more tame car. They've definitely made it a more gentle drive, a more GT style drive. It's jam-packed loaded with technology. Even if you turn everything off in the assistance package and deactivate everything, no assistance required, deactivate, yes thank you, everything's still on or partially on. Every time a car comes near to you, a traffic light, every time you just so much as touch the white line, beep, 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 beep. Oh, it's seriously annoying to deal with. But it means that if you are the type of person that takes this car and goes up and down the motorway and then every now and again wants to blick the throttle to make it roar a little bit to be seen, then it's perfect. But yeah, it's not like the old Vantage, let's put it like that. The old Vantage was a lot more raw, I would say a lot more of a driving machine, which is strange when you take into account that this has the new Blistein suspension setup, which is supposed to be excellent. But honestly, all I've found since driving it in any of the modes is it's bouncy. It just bounces you all over the place. So I've got this normal route which I take the cars down to test, which is quite a bumpy road, and it's got lots of like lumps and bumps and humps in it and stuff. And I take it down there because it's a great place to test the car out, to see what the suspension is like, what the handling's like, how it reacts to the camber of the road and whatnot. But wow, I took this car down there yesterday and it was just throwing me all over the place. Honestly, it really wasn't a fun ride at all. The cabin, 2000 revs, even in the quietest mode with the exhaust valves closed, is still pretty damn noisy, I'm going to be honest with you, which is fine if you want people to look at you, you want to show off whatever. I've got a V8 Aston, but for me, it's not quite enough. You've got track mode. You can put the car in track mode to take it on track. Wonderful. I want to take my Aston Martin on track. It'll be great fun. No, you can't actually, because the exhaust is too loud. Every track in the UK is 100 decibels, 102, 105 pass by, or maybe 110. This car, on pass by driving, is over 120 decibels, even with the exhaust valve closed. So what's the point, Aston? I can't take the car on track. I can't have fun with it because it's too damn noisy. Now, I guess you could put the additional tip mufflers on, like you have to with certain other cars. But what's the point? Why have a track mode if you can't really use it? It's a bit disappointing, if I'm honest. The other thing about this car, which I wanted to find out for myself because I couldn't believe it, I thought, no, the other motoring journalists, like my friend Matt, he couldn't get it to launch very well, and he couldn't get a good 0 to 60 time, and I thought, well, he's been on track, he's probably overheated the car, or he doesn't know what he's doing, or he's got it in the wrong setting, or whatever. But I faffed about with the car yesterday for half an hour, and I couldn't get a decent launch out of it either. Honestly, it just doesn't snap and pick up like you would expect it to. It's 650 plus horsepower. It's got those massive 325 rear tyres on with the special Michelin tyres made especially for this car. You'd think it would hook up, but 0 to 60 for some reason in this car, it just doesn't work, and I don't know what it is. Even when you do a hard braking, another system turns on the flipping hazard lights. Ugh. And we're in track mode. And I just braked reasonably hard. It wasn't an emergency brake. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe in the new modern Porsches, you've got the turbos that spin in opposite directions. Maybe someone in the comments can let me know, because maybe that's it. Obviously the Porsches are four-wheel drive. They've got the same size tyres, however, but the GT3s get a quicker launch than this. So I don't really know. Also, when you put it into launch mode, it's not an actual launch mode. You have to jam your foot on the brake and you feel the car constantly trying to move, and you have to kind of really push really hard to make sure that it doesn't start moving. So in other cars, when you put it in launch mode, you put your foot hard on the brake and it kind of lets the car know, and then it doesn't start creeping forward. It just like holds the car, and then when you're ready and you let your foot off, it actually launches it properly, whereas this one kind of is actually pushing against the brakes the whole time, and then when you take your foot off, allows it to launch. But yeah, I just can't get a good launch in it. Something else I need to explain. In this car, when you want to put the traction control off, you press the button down here, then up here on the screen, if you want to then turn it off more, you have to hit the big mode button and spin it around, and it goes all the way around to 9 to be completely off, and then you can like 5 halfway and all the rest of it, and it's just too much. So I've got my special timing gear from Racebox Pro. Let's have a look. History, drag times yesterday. So what was the best one we got? It looks like I got a 3.36 quite a few times, a 3.52, a 3.6, a 3.4. It's not great really when you consider the Bentley we just tested the other week also has a 4-litre V8, but it does have the additional electric motor. But that was doing a 2.7, a 2.8. Granted, it's also 4-wheel drive, but it's also a hell of a lot heavier. The 0 to 60 time, it's not good. I put it back to sport mode, its most chilled mode, and then I use the controls up here to put the cruise control on. Can be a bit fiddly. So it's got adaptive cruise, and it immediately looks at the distance and the car in front. I can set the distance to whatever I want it. I can put the speed up and down. It's got side assist. It's got traffic sign warnings. It's got lane assist. It's got brake assist. It's got everything, and you can literally just take your feet off the brake and the throttle and let the car do everything for you, because it's got that much stuff, and it's kind of a bit much, if you ask me. This is supposed to be a sports car. I don't mind adaptive cruise, but when you've got adaptive cruise with all of this other stuff, blind spot and all those other things on, it's just a bit too much. And you're pulling up to a junction or something to slow down, and a car comes within 3 feet of you, and the car beep 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 beep. Oh, seriously? Or you go slightly towards the white line, and it immediately pulls you back into your lane and starts beeping and squealing at you. I guess what Aston are doing is they're trying to make this a car for your more average day driver, not your track driver, not your fun driver, shall we say. They're trying to make it more of a GT cruiser to go up and down the motorway. Maybe it's a 2025 EU thing, or maybe it's just all modern cars. I mean, they're not all like this, but wow, it's just so much. It's overkill. One other small niggle I've got with this car, on the dash, I like to keep the tyre pressures up so I can see what the pressure is and what the temperature is, depending on the different driving styles and where I'm going. I can't change it out of KPA. It's so annoying. I can't put it to PSI, I can't put it to bar. I've tried all of the settings and I can't figure it out. 230 kPa is like 31 PSI. So that's a decent pressure because Michelin's usually run between 30 to 35 PSI. And that's their optimal place of work. The other thing is the dash itself, the instrument cluster. I don't particularly like this yellowy green colour. You can't change it. I don't like the fact that I have to have the rev counter on the left and the speedo on the right. I might like to change that around, like in the Ferraris. Can't do that in here. The car's not even got 1,000 miles on it, and it's on minimum oil. It's telling me to put a litre of oil in. It's used a litre of oil in under 1,000 miles? Is that normal? I didn't realise this, but apparently no Aston Martins come with nose lift because they run high enough already. This car's got the standard stereo system, which is good. It's very clear, it's very nice. Although, a small strange thing, I guess. If you turn it up almost to maximum, it's not that loud. Now, I'm not even joking. I turned the full assistance package back on. I'm driving at 31 and a 30 air. Bing, 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 bing. A car drives past me in the opposite direction. Bzzz. Car thinks, oh, it's a bit too close. Steering drags you off to the other side of the... It's awful. These assistance packages are just way over the top. Hugely over the top. So I've turned all of it back off again because really, unless you're only on the motorway, I can't see any point in having it on. But we are approaching the bumpy road that I was on yesterday. Okay. We are in sport mode. I am being thrown all over the place. Way too bouncy. So let's put it in Sport Plus. Bouncy. Losing traction. Bouncy. Losing traction. Bouncy. Let's put it in track mode. Still bouncy. Really bouncy. I mean, it handles quite nicely when it's not bouncing you all over the place. But when it's bouncing you around like this, it's not confidence inspiring. Now, maybe it's this specific car. I don't know. So, I've stopped, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this camera around and face outside and then drive down the same road again, same speeds, in track in its stiffest setting, and see what you think from the camera footage. Do you think it's too bouncy? To me it feels too bouncy, and it hasn't got great traction either. Same stretch of road, a lot of water here, standing slowly and carefully. Quite narrow roads, can't see a great deal, and struggling for traction. Struggling for traction. I try and bring the car to the middle of the road to get away from the lumps and bumps a little bit, but it's just throwing me everywhere. Struggling for traction again. And we are bouncing around. Bouncing around. It's a very bouncy ride in whatever setting I seem to put the car in. I don't really want to take it on track. That's how unimpressed I am with it at the moment. I think it's a great car maybe to cruise along in and go to dinner, like I say, with your missus, and you know, maybe go to the odd car show because it's pretty. But as a driver's car, I just can't see it, because in this price bracket I think I'd get a Ferrari. Granted, it's not a great surface, but dear Lord, it just throws you all over the place. And it's even worse if I put it in sports. This brake pedal's getting a little bit too squishy. It's going a little bit too far down. Now, maybe it's because the brake pads haven't been bedded in very well. Maybe it's because their brake fluid's a little low, who knows? But it's feeling a bit squishy. Let's see. Front disc, 246 degrees. Maybe you can see that. Let's go to the rear disc. 218 degrees. Why is the brake pedal getting squishy? It's not that hot. Oh, that's interesting. So the edge of the disc is saying 346 degrees on the driver's side, which is considerably higher than 340 degrees on the edge. Again, towards the middle of the disc, 200. So there's a difference of 100 degrees between the inner. So what's my overall opinion of the car? It's a tough one. I definitely think they've tamed it down, and I definitely think they've put a whole lot of security and safety features in there for your average driver. I don't know if this car is going to be any good on the track. I don't imagine so, with it being so bouncy as it is, and with all those additional features in here with the assistants. Yeah, even when they're off, they're not actually off, and they're kind of annoying. The 0 to 60 times, they're pretty disappointing as well. I'm struggling. Honestly, I'm struggling. And I love Aston Martins. I've always loved Aston Martins. I had a Vantage. I loved it to bits. And I really was hoping that this was going to be a huge step up. And I'm kind of disappointed. We were braking. The car in front of us was braking. All of the collision systems are off. And it still beeped at me to say, oh, that car's a bit close. It was nowhere near us. That's what it's like, unfortunately. It's not ideal. Let's put it like that. Would I buy the Aston? Would I buy a Porsche? Would I buy a Ferrari? It's really sad to say, but it wouldn't be the Aston, or at least not this model. 2025, you really expect the technology to have come on a lot. You really expect it to be a big step up from the previous version, and if I'm honest, it's not. I would spend half the money and get the previous version car still, without all of the annoying, intrusive assistance programs that even if they're turned off, they're still sort of on. The power's no better, the 0 to 60's no better, the overall speed's no better, and at least in this car, the ride is really bumpy. We took the car over to Germany. We got onto the Autobahn. Now, if you don't know, the Autobahns in Germany, there's certain sections which are unlimited speed, as long as you're being safe. And we thought, okay, well, let's see what the car's like at speed. The car does over 200 miles an hour, according to Aston. It should be very safe and secure on the road at those speeds. We checked the tyre pressures were perfect, were what Michelin said they should be. And it wasn't great, unfortunately. Again, I'm not sure if it's this specific Vantage or if it's a problem with the Vantage in general, but taking the car up to 130, 140 miles an hour, it feels nervous. It doesn't feel planted and safe. It wants to wander from lane to lane. It feels jittery. It feels like it's almost had too much coffee. You try and press it further up to 180, 190 miles an hour towards the top speed of this vehicle. It's even worse. Aston, give me another car so I can check and see if it's just this one, because I don't think it's right. It shouldn't be behaving like that. Now, we don't usually do this, but I would like to give out a big thanks to Emma Barker from Bury St Edmunds. She messages us on a daily basis. She says that she's our biggest fan, that she checks all of our platforms, all of our social media, our website and everything, and that she even has a photo of me on her bedroom wall, which is very nice. And she's also embarking on a weight loss journey. Emma has managed to get herself to 30 stone, and she is now on this new weight loss journey, trying to get down to 11 stone within a year. And I think that's really admirable, and I really want to support her, and so does my whole team. So what we've actually managed to do is we are donating £1,000 to Emma to get all of the gym equipment and everything she needs to get to that goal. So thanks, Emma, for being a great fan. And if you would like to also subscribe to this channel and get weekly updates, we will be uploading a car review every week on Thursdays. And if you hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell icon, you will then get a notification every time we upload a video, just in case you forget to come back and check on the channel. Also, if you want to get any supercar driver training yourself, if you've got a supercar and you want to go on track and you want to push the car to its limits in a safe environment and learn how to handle that car better, get in contact. That's what we do. That's our main job. The car review section is just something we've started to do as an optional extra to give people an idea of the types of vehicles that they're likely to buy and then bring to us to take on track and learn in. So if that's of interest, give us a like, give us a comment, let us know what you thought of the video. And if you've got your own car, if you've got something that is special, that's a supercar that you would like to have a professional review done on, then go ahead and get in contact. You can get us through the social media page. You can get me on my private Instagram account at BradLondonUK, and you can get to us through the website. You've also got on the website all of the links to all of the dates and all of the tracks that we're teaching at, and we've got more than 40 professional racing driver track instructors available pretty much every day of the week at the moment during the spring and summer. So do get in contact if you're interested. One quick thing I forgot to mention, I'd like to give a quick thanks to Racebox Pro. Racebox, they are the guys that give us this equipment so we can actually get the 0 to 60 times, the 0 to 100 times and so on, the braking distance. These are great little devices. They connect to the satellite signals. Just pop it on your windscreen. It's all automatic, and if you do track times and race times as well, you can download all of the tracks directly into the device. So go ahead and look up Racebox if you're interested in getting one. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you want to come back and view the next car, and bye for now.